Hi, welcome to Conversion Conversations. This is Cameron. Today I'm taking a look at Transformers Generations Legacy Skullgrin. We've got Skullgrin here. He's gotten his new, first new toy since what, Prime Master? So it hasn't been too long ago. He's also the first deluxe toy since, like, was it Reveal the Shield or whatever the Transformers, like that 2010-ish line was, I think. Here we have Skullgrin in alt mode. Obviously, Skullgrin was originally a Pretender, so the original toy didn't have an alt mode. It had like the shell, and then inside it was a robot that turned into kind of nothing, but we'll pretend it's an alt mode. And in that vein, we've got this similar thing going on with Deluxe Skullgrin here. Doesn't really turn into anything. It's got some like identifiable features. We can see some tracks back here. We've got a turret up top that does swivel, and it does incline and decline, so, independently, so you can, get some cool shots of it, like, shooting stuff. The front, it's like a half track, but the front, instead of, like, coming off the ground, it just kind of sits there. There's no casters or anything down here, so it just kind of slides. And I've seen tanks that look like this, where the half track is in the front and it's dragging something behind it. It's not an ideal design these days. I've never seen something like this. I almost feel like it wants to be half track, half hovercraft, which is like interesting and alien, but I don't think Skullgrin pulls this off very well. The colors are nice. We've got dark grays here, an almost imperceptible Decepticon symbol purple there. We've got this like maroon color and these whites. Those colors look really nice. I like the contrast there. I just don't think this looks like anything very well. It doesn't do much for me here. There's Transformers that I think turn into nothing and do it pretty well. Like someone on the Discord pointed out to me, Soundwave from the War for Cybertronian line. I like I like that Siege Soundwave mold, the Sound Blaster mold, that it turns into a spaceship. That doesn't really look like much. But I dig it. This one doesn't really work for me. To compare him, we've got this Skullgrin and we've got this Skullgrin. Both of them turning into tanks. But, I mean, this is just so much more of a cooler tank. They're both deluxes. My only real complaint about this mold is I kind of wish it was a Voyager. But yeah, like it's again, a half track. Listen to that, though. Oh, that's nice. Lovely wheels up front, casters on the tracks make such a difference. Yeah, between the two of them, I like this gray color more here than this gray color. This seems a little bit dull and lifeless, but I think that, I know that I prefer this alt mode more between these two guys. In terms of... I guess the other Skullgrin I have is this little guy, which we'll do more in robot mode. But yeah, it's like, it really doesn't do much for me in this mode. It's fine, it's neat, and it's not even neat. It's alien, but it's like, it's okay. The only, like, the biggest disappointment to me, I think, about this is that we did have, and I'm going to throw the picture up, we did have this other version of the Skullgrin design where it turned into a spaceship. And I think it looked way cooler as a spaceship than as, like, this half-tank thing. I'm disappointed we didn't get the spaceship design. But that is Skullgrin's alt mode. Let's get into transformation. So to start out with transformation, we're going to take off his swords. There's a little tab that it slots into here, and then it goes into this hex slot right here. If you notice, I've already got paint wear on mine. This is soft plastic. It's soft, flexible plastic, and they painted this tab for whatever reason. Or maybe they... I'm trying to think. No, the silver, that's the paint. The white has to be the plastic, but it... Yeah, whatever it's going on, there's like rub on the inside, which is unfortunate. Same thing on this side, just pull that off. These turrets, this can also be removed, but you don't actually have to remove it for transformation, which I do appreciate. Then coming in, there are tabs here that connect the legs to his little front of his body. We just want to make sure those are separated out nicely. We're going to come in on the back, and these half tracks can pull out like so. We can pull them down and out of the way. We're going to take his legs and we're going to rotate things down. As I try and do that, they're going to come half undone. Then you can slide out the thighs here. These feet, they flip out like so, separate the legs, and then coming in on the back, what you want to make sure is it started sliding out already, but you want to make sure you push it all the way up. It forms a little pocket like so that you can engage the knee in. That lets you, trying to give you a good view, fold this white section in and then get the tread leg behind to form a solid little leg. So on this side, again, maybe this view will be better. You want to pull this all the way up till that piece is perpendicular at that edge. That lets you lock in that knee and then come in right like so. And there you've got his legs and his lower half done. Next we can come in, straighten out the torso. Up top we can split apart his arms. There is this section here that can slide down. And then coming in up front, we can pull this tab down to push his skull head through, like so. Closing that up around, getting his jaw out of the way, closing it up, and then coming in, flipping out, there we go, on both sides, like so. Flipping out those wrists, bringing them around. And I think I didn't mention it, I've got some mold flash issues on this. It's nothing major, it's just there's little bits, if we look here, there's just little sharp bits of plastic here that I need to take off with a bit of sandpaper if I was keeping this toy. But there, we've got the general body done. We can flip out his horns here, come in on the back, flip out his horns here. And yeah, this is Skullgrin, and he looks pretty good. I'm going to take off that back piece just as the robot mode. I do like this reimagining of the robot mode design, right? This is essentially his Pretender shell if it was a robot. We've got a really nicely sculpted head there. I love the bright pink eyes. I kind of wish they just gave him his second half of his jaw. I feel like this is because they forgot or something happened. They didn't have a good way to do it. That his lower jaw exists on the original toy. It's just like part of the gray piece. So that's like a minor thing, but it is kind of neat just to have like that section, just the top half. It's a super clean robot mode. I mean, look how like there's just no backpack here unless you give him his extra bits. Articulation wise, that head is super dynamic. The horns want to come in. It's all soft plastic, but you can keep him out, not too much trouble. I do wish, because it's such a large head, I wish there was a way to tilt it. But the way the ball joint is, you can't tilt it, which is unfortunate. You can 360 the shoulder. It goes out so far until this nub hits, which I appreciate. Bicep swivel. Not a double-jointed elbow, but a pretty deep elbow curl. No wrist articulation other than for transformation. We do have waist swivel. We do, and things kind of run into each other here. We can get that far on the splits, which is unfortunate. It's just this soft plastic kind of getting up in there. You can force it further, but I worry about the damage that's going to do to these nubs. You can go that far on the kick. You can go that far back. Thigh swivel, nice knee bend, and ankle tilt. So, you know, get some nice dynamic poses out of Skullgrin. Get him to, like, do his... If we force it, hopefully you can hear that. Force him into a high kick position kind of thing. Yeah, he looks real neat. I dig him a lot in this mode. I don't know if it's worth the sack. Like, is this cool enough that for me that his alt mode doesn't turn into anything? I don't think so. But I can see a lot of fans, like, they just care about the robot mode. He does come with all these bits. So he's got these extra gun pieces. He's got this, like, backpack tail thing that I don't really know what to do with other than just stick it back on his back and allow him to hold these guns. He can, if you want, you know, the gun can go into the arm like a cannon. It can go up top here, like seeker, you know, things. You can combine these pieces to form a double-barreled gun, that sort of thing. I do like to just stick mine on the back here. And then his guns, in like, this can also be a gun if he holds it by this handle. You know, there you go. Or I do prefer to put his right-hand one in as like a sword. I guess complaint number whatever is that the finish on my particular copy, these like tolerances and stuff, I just got bits popping off all over the place, which is annoying. And then this one can go right here, like so. Yeah, and you know, there you go. There's Skullgrin all with all his gear, and I think overall he looks good. The color scheme is just very vibrant, very good. I think it's hard to mess it up. Let me bring him a little closer. It's hard to mess him up. I think that he is very evocative in this mode. In terms of comparisons, here we can see him next to the Power Master Skullgrin. Obviously, this is a teeny tiny little toy, but I always like that Skullgrin can hold himself as a weapon. So if we put, let's see, if we put this on this way, and then pull this piece out, we can take off one of these, maybe put this on here, and then give him like a claw weapon. There you go. I dig that. Yeah, it's neat to see like the different interpretations of Skullgrin. He in his like original Pretender form, he was pretty. I felt like he was pretty organic looking. All of these interpretations are obviously more mechanical to fit the Transformers theme. And then we've got one more Skullgrin to look at. Here is the other Skullgrin I have, and this, I think this illustrates to me what I find important in aesthetics. I like the blockiness and chunkiness of this guy, but I think something about this version just seems more menacing. Like this Skullgrin here, like the fact that the head's a little smaller, the fact that like I really like these sleek proportions. It's a lot of kibble. The transformation here is simpler and more fun to mess with. Transforming this reminded me, but this is like still the Skullgrin for me. This is the Skullgrin that he gets on the battlefield, and I feel like the other Autobots are intimidated. Whereas this guy just looks like a little doofy. But it's neat that Hasbro is doing different versions of these obscure characters, so that like if you want the 80s Skullgrin with the skull on his, you know, belt buckle kind of thing, now you've got a deluxe version of that. If you don't want this guy for $25, I'm pretty sure you can get this guy for like 30. You know, it's not too much more expensive on the secondary market. And I think that this version, for those that are looking for something with a better alt mode, and you know, a different sort of design aesthetic, like this is an awesome Skullgrin. Yeah, so I'm excited to see more of the Legacy Pretenders, especially the ones that I don't have in my collection already in some version. Like I'm not going to be replacing Skullgrin. I'm not going to be replacing Bludgeon, but you know, there's other ones that I'd be very much interested in. So I think that's my question to the audience for today, because this is in fact a giveaway. This staying on my shelf as Skullgrin, and Skullgrin is gonna always hold Skullgrin. That's just, you know, what I like to do. So that being said, what is the for this guy as the giveaway? What is the Pretender you're hoping for that we get next? And what size class are you hoping for? I think a Voyager Bludgeon that doesn't do the traditional like tank mode might be interesting. I think in terms of what I'm hoping for next would be maybe one of the Autobot Pretenders as a deluxe class figure. I'm not sure which one. I'm trying to remember. Landmine maybe is one of them. But yeah, that would be what I'd hope for next. If you want to enter to win the giveaway for this Legacy Skullgrin, go down in the comments below, say, I want to enter the giveaway, and answer the question of the day, which is, what is the next Pretender that you want to see reimagined in the Legacy line, and what size class? That's it for today's video, everyone. Hopefully I kept it short and sweet, and I'll catch you all later. Bye, everybody.